Welcome everyone to the Lo-Fi Poli Sci podcast. I'm your host, Michael Pickering. That's right, Lo-Fi as in low fidelity, low quality, in your face, messy as can be global news show. Here we're going to talk about that famous question, what's going on in the world today? We'll be covering 5 headlines from across the globe and then choose one to go into a more detailed analysis. It's Thursday, everyone, meaning it's Thursday's feature on Reporters Without Borders and media freedom around the world. Today, for our third story, we're focusing on the South American country of Bolivia. But first, the news fresh off the press. Source, AP News International. U.S. military offers condolences over Iran accident killing 19. This week we brought you the news of the friendly fire accident in an Iranian military exercise. Today, the U.S. military offers its sympathy. The implications? Unsure. While some could take this as a heartfelt message about the loss of human life, others may take it as a cheap jab at the Iranian military. We can't be sure, so we should not assume. The only fact of the case, that all loss of human life is tragic. Our next story. Source, Reuters World News. Taiwan says WHO has forgotten neutrality by barring island. The WHO, a United Nations organization, has apparently not allowed Taiwan to participate in several meetings recently. Taiwan is accusing the WHO of showing political bias towards China, which claims Taiwan is part of the People's Republic of China. The implications. As of now, very few countries in the world recognize Taiwan as an independent state or country. These countries include the Vatican City, Tuvalu, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, St. Lucia, St. Kitts and Nevis, Paraguay, Palua, Nicaragua, Nauru, the Marshall Islands, Honduras, Haiti, Guatemala, Eswatini, the Dominican Republic, and Belize. Over the past few years, several countries have left this list in favor of China. The reason, theoretically, is that China has offered those countries economic aid for preferential diplomatic recognition. This story is perhaps another example of China flexing its diplomatic and economic muscles across the globe to gain influence in an ever-increasing connected world. And now we're moving forward because it's time for Thursday's feature on Reporters Without Borders, focusing on Bolivia. Geography lesson, Lo-Fi Nation. Bolivia, like its neighbor Paraguay, is a landlocked country, bordered by Brazil to the north and east, Paraguay to the southeast, Argentina to the south, Chile to the southwest, and Peru to the west and northwest. Bolivia gained its independence and became an independent sovereign state in 1825. In 2018, Bolivia had a World Bank recorded GDP per capita of just over $3,500 a year, meaning the country is still working hard at developing its economy today. Let's remember that Reporters Without Borders ranks 180 countries and territories by level of media freedom in the country, both constitutionally and in practice. And in 2019, Bolivia ranked 113 out of 180 countries and territories across the globe, down 3 spots from 2018 and placing it in the lower 36% of nations and media freedoms. Below it, at 114, is Nicaragua, and above it, at 112, is the country of Mali. To quote Reporters Without Borders, President Evo Morales' resignation and forced exile as a result of a dispute over the November 2019 presidential election have plunged Bolivia into a period of uncertainty and instability. The elections were marked by many attacks against journalists during street protests and strikes. Under Supreme Decree 181 of 2009, journalists who lie, play party politics, or insult the government may be denied income from state advertising. Such financial pressure is all the more effective because Bolivia is South America's poorest country. End quote. That's a lot going on in Bolivia for media freedom today. Times are uncertain as the political climate is shifting because of the president's exile at the end of last year. A question to students of Lofi Poli Sci. Will a new government bring in an era of increased media freedoms for the country? Write in and let me know your thoughts. We'll definitely be keeping an eye on you, Bolivia. And now for our headline in the Spotlight segment. Source, BBC News, Technology section. France gives online firms 1 hour to pull terrorist content. Sheesh, France. You're getting serious about legal content on the web, and as well perhaps all countries should. We'll think about that in a minute. But the details first. France has passed a new law that states all websites, be it news or social media, have to remove all content deemed illegal under French law, such as terrorism and much more, or suffer a 4% fine of the company's global revenue. So watch out with your fake news stories, Facebook. 4% is quite a bit in dollar amounts of your global revenue. And that's to you, Google, with your YouTube as well. The background and implications of this story. More specifically, content that is of terrorist nature or child abuse must be removed within 1 hour. Other content deemed illegal will have 24 hours to be taken off the web. First-time offenders are capped at 1.25 million euros. Repeat offenders can go up to 4% of their global revenue. Opinions abound. People generally agree that stronger measures to remove illegal content should be taken. However, many argue that this is too steep of a demand for smaller internet companies and could directly jeopardize their business model and their survivability moving forward. We at Lofi Poli Sci will continue to bring you more news on this story as it develops. Something tells me this story is far from over. And a last piece of news, also from the BBC Technology section. Inflatable e-scooter that fits in your backpack unveiled. Whoa, that's right, and isn't that amazing? Haven't you always complained how those hard scooter seats hurt your bottom? Haven't you always wished for more cushion for your tushin? Haven't you always wanted to take your scooter anywhere you go just as easy as putting it in your backpack? If you answered yes, yes, and more yes, then this one's for you, Lo-Fi listeners. The implications. This sweet, beautiful baby of an e-scooter was developed at the University of Tokyo. Weighs in at 12 pounds. Inflates in 1 minute. And I know you're all wondering, but I couldn't find it. How fast can this speed demon go? I don't know. Yet. Though I'm very, very curious. The developers at the University of Tokyo are working to reduce the weight, as well to make it more transportable for all peoples of all ages. Geez Louise, you're gonna be watching this story for sure, aren't you? And you know, one day, you just may see a Lo-Fi Poli Sci sticker on an inflatable e-scooter in a neighborhood near you. And that's a brief snapshot of what's going on in the world today. Please write in with your questions, comments, or requests of countries for our news segments, or a top 10 global list you want to see at Lofi Poli Sci at planetmail.com. That's Lofi, L-O-F-I, Poli, P-O-L-I, Sci, S-C-I, at planetmail.com. And always remember that Lofi Poli Sci is more than just me. It's the we that we be. Let me say thank you so much for listening. Stay safe, wash those hands, and I'll see you on the next episode of the Lofi Poli Sci podcast. Pickering, signing off.